hearts, big efforts, get along, very unselfish players, and we do have that.
When it comes down to it, your heart's the one thing that's going to determine this ball game tonight, out of either team.
Playing this game, you don't need to go football.
All you can say is let's get it on.
Offense wins games, but defense wins championships. And I believe practically all coaches really believe that.
And great pressure here from Robinson again. Bell gets it, but watch Nick Gill right here. Pow!
Look at that. He was so excited about the hit, he didn't realize the guy had fumbled. The fumble would have been right in his hands if he was looking up. But, boy, he done his job.
Short drop over the middle, batted in the air, intercepted by the Wonders. Philip Johnson's got it. He's rumbling downfield. He's at the 35, the 40. He's still going. He's at the 35, the 30, the 25. Philip Johnson will go all the way.
How about that? A 10-point turnaround.
We talked about big plays, and he made one there.
He's a junior. I'm proud to say he's a National Honor Society student, and he's the most humble 16-year-old I've ever been around. If you got to know him, everybody in here is going to take him home. And the thing that's so humble about him, he doesn't even know how good he is.
Gilford, right side, picks open, cuts it back, inside the 10, 5, touchdown! Man, and what speed, Randy, what speed he showed right there. Around the end of Maddox, he's got room, he's got speed, and he is gone. Touchdown, Wonders, and that may do it.
And I think Williams worked hard and got a lot more confidence. So a lot of those intangibles of pass protection, receivers, routes, and quarterbacking, it just kind of meshed together.
Kraft with a play fake rolling. Pretty good time over the middle. He's got Sheets the tight end. First down, Wonders down to the Spider 30-yard line.
This is as exciting as it can get. I mean, you know, this is what coaching, this is why people go into coaching, to be around the quality of young people that we have here. So they're a lot of fun.
From Keenan Stadium in Chapel Hill, it's the State 3A High School Football Finals between Northeast Guilford and the A.L. Brown Wonders of Kannapolis. A pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to Keenan Stadium, along with Woody Kane, Randy Whitley. And Woody, we made the big dance.
Yeah, we did. It's a pleasure to do a game at a facility like this. It really is.
We talked to Bruce Harden earlier on Headliners, and the similarities between these two teams just would scare the coaches to death as far as you don't know how to react because you're playing a shadow of yourself.
Well, they really are. That's what both coaches have been talking about all week long. The teams are very similar. They run almost an identical defense. The offenses are a little bit different, and that may be where we see the majority of the work going on here tonight. For Northeast Guilford, they are a small but quick team. Kannapolis a little bit bigger, but they have the speed to match Northeast Guilford. Watch for defensively for them, John Patterson, the linebacker. He's undersized, but Coach Tommy Persley says he's the best linebacker I've ever been around, and that's a strong statement.
And speaking of quickness on the defensive end for Kannapolis, you got the likes of Desmond Miller and Philip Johnson going to be chasing guys all over the field tonight.
Yeah, and Philip Johnson ran an interception 75 yards back for a touchdown to get here, so my goodness, you know he can fly.
First time in the state finals for Northeast Guilford. Bruce Harden has been here, as a matter of fact, 6 times as a head coach, 3 here for the Wonders, 3 times in the last 9 years. Jitters for the players, opening game mistakes. If you don't beat yourself, you should be in pretty good position, especially early.
Well, generally when you get to a game of this magnitude, it's going to be the little things, the mistakes that will determine who wins. These teams are both 14-1. They don't make many mistakes, so the one that makes the most tonight will probably be in trouble.
I guess a lifelong dream for a lot of these kids is the Super Bowl equivalent in high school football. We'll be back with more pregame after this timeout. Welcome back to Keaton Stadium, as the locals call it, affectionately the pit here at the University of North Carolina. The Wonders going through their pregame drills, and earlier Steve Gant had a chance to talk with one of the assistants for the Wonders. His name, Jeremy Ryan.
Thanks, guys, for coming. Jeremy Ryan. I'll tell you what, Jeremy, you and I are 3-0. Let's keep this spring going 4-0, and we've had a great year.
Let's just finish it. Yes, we have had a great year.
Jeremy, I tell you, these guys are tough. Northeast Guilford County. It's a good ball team, somewhat like Kannapolis. They're not big, but they're quick.
Their technique is great. They really come off the ball well offensively. They run that wishbone, run a little bit of the flex bone with the wings and the split ends. We're going to have to play our technique and worry about the Wonders before we worry about what they do, and we'll be successful.
Have you watched a lot of game film? Or is there any one key player or maybe two key players that you guys have taken a serious look at?
Well, number 11, he's a great player. The fullback can run, quarterback can ride that fullback and then pitch it or take off on the option. A lot of weapons that we're really going to have to worry about, but it's sound fundamentals that are going to win the game for us.
Well, sound fundamentals it is. You know, we're at the big dance. To get here, you had to beat somebody to get here. You had to be a good team to get here. It's no fluke. Two great teams are here tonight in the state of North Carolina. It's going to be a football game.
Well, after 20 weeks of a season starting August 1st, it all comes down to the big show. And what you have to do is just play it like a normal week, if at all possible, and play your hearts out and hope you win.
Jeremy, in your words, I believe the last time we talked, let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
Got our towels waving. We're behind you. We're going to take home a victory tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeremy. Okay, guys, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Steve. As you see the thousands of folks who came up for Cabarrus County, and needless to say, they have outnumbered their opponents. And how exactly, other than the fans, how did the teams get here as the road to Chapel Hill? Okay, we'll get to that in just a minute. Tommy Kersley had a chance to talk to Steve Gant just a few minutes ago. He's the head coach of the Rams from Northeast Guilford. These were his comments.
Thanks, guys. I'll call the head coach, Tommy Kersley. I tell you what, Coach, you got a great team. You got to have a great team to be here.
We feel real good about how we're playing and the kind of year we've had. We're tickled to death to be here. We've got a great group of young men who've really worked hard to overcome their maybe lack of size and the lack of just natural physical ability with good character, good work habits, and they deserve it, and we're happy to be here.
Tommy, you talked about lack of size. I think in the press conference you compared these guys to the middle school back in Guilford County. Are the guys that small?
Well, obviously that's a little sarcasm and a little poking fun, but no, we're not that small, but we're really we got good size for the kind of things we do, and we've got a bunch of lean kids who don't have a lot of body fat, and I'd rather have a tall lean guy with good leverage than a little short squatty guy. So that size can sometimes be deceptive. We're not very big, but we are pretty strong and we're quick, and that's what you win with.
Well, a lot of heart and a lot of character, I understand, too.
That's the key right there. We've actually had teams that maybe have a little more talent, and they haven't been able to reach this far. And a lot of circumstance has to fall into place, and you got to have some luck along the way. But these young men have worked hard and pulled together, and they're definitely a team, and that's what gets this far as a team, not a collection of individuals.
Coach, I understand you got a lot of speed in the backfield. Kannapolis also has some speed in the backfield. Nick Maddox, Tron Brown, they got some good talent back there. Does your guys compare? How do you compare to Kannapolis?
Well, their tailback, number 20, Maddox, is very similar to McNeil, who runs the ball for us. I mean, they're about the same size. They look like they have the same kind of quickness. Their running styles are the same. So I think those two backs are very similar. Defensively, they run the exact same front, the 50 shade that we run. They gang, tackle, and swarm to the ball as good as any team I've seen, and we feel like we do a good job of that. These teams, I think, are very similar, even though our offenses are different. We still basically operate on the same principle, and that is a few plays executed well from various formations and looking for an opportunity to drive the ball or break one.
Coach, we're going to let you get to work. It's almost kickoff time. Again, congratulations for getting here. Win, lose, or draw. It's been a great year, and thanks for talking to us.
It has, and we're looking forward to a good football game, and we think our young men will play hard and play well, and if they do that, we won't worry about the score too much.
Godspeed.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Steve. The only loss was the second week of the season for two Greensboro Page, and they are a 4A school that went deep into the playoffs this year. How did the teams get to Chapel Hill? The road to the hill? Well, we'll take a look.
As you look at Northeast Guilford, they came across Southern Nash, and Coach Persley said that was one of the biggest teams he's ever seen. Then Oxford Webb, and then it looks like a defensive struggle there against Wilson Hunt. Now, Greensboro Dudley, that was an overtime victory, and that was the second time this season that Northeast had beaten Greensboro Dudley, kind of like Kannapolis and Concord this year. As we roll it over and take a look at Kannapolis, you'll see a similar kind of road to Chapel Hill as well for them. You know, they had the struggle with Concord a couple of times this season, just the same as Northeast Guilford had to struggle with Greensboro Dudley a couple of times to get here. As we look at the scores, 21-6, a long road trip to Asheville, and boy, what a pleasure it was for the Kannapolis people to see all their fans up there on that long road trip. Then Burns, the thriller, the late kick by Garver to win that game, the shutout of Concord at Concord, that was just an amazing performance there. Then last week, Kings Mountain, and boy, I'll never forget the side of big old Philip Johnson storming down the sidelines with that interception.
I talked to William Kraft this past week, Woody, about that, and I said, are you going to put Philip Johnson in your pass pattern? He just kind of smiled and says, don't think so. He's too valuable, the defensive end. We'll take a break and have more of our pregame here from Kenan Stadium in just a moment. We went along with Woody Kane, Steve, and the entire Metro 12 crew back at Kenan Stadium. We mentioned earlier it's kind of frightening the way these two teams mirror one another. Let's take a look at some numbers as far as the comparisons are concerned.
Well, you look down the list there, and things are just about even. Points for within, 2 points of each other there. Points allowed, also within 2 points of each other. Now, in the playoffs, it looks like things have gotten a little bit lower in the points scored, and you would expect that because the competition goes up a notch. The points allowed average goes up a little bit as well. You see Kannapolis gives up a few less points, but scores a few less points. And then you see their playoff records since 1972, what they've done. A.L. Brown 23-13, Northeast Guilford 5-9. As you mentioned, Randy, this is their first appearance in a state championship game, so a relatively new experience for them. And of course, it is for all these players. The coaching staffs have been around quite a while. As a matter of fact, Coach Persley was at Watauga back when they won a state championship. And there you see the Wonder fans in their rally towels. Understand Fieldcrest Cannon stamped out about, $1 billion of those things to hand out?
It seems like that, and I'm not sure who was responsible for the billion balloons that they've already lost half of those. So Kannapolis represented. I just hate to estimate at this cavernous stadium, but they've certainly outnumbered the Northeast Guilford fans, which is reminiscent of Cabarrus County football, whether it be Kannapolis, Concord, or whoever you bring to this area. You talk about numbers of appearances. Brown with a state championship, as everyone knows. It follows Wonder football in 89, a loss at 91. They did have another appearance in 84 under the tutelage of Bob Boswell as the Wonders take the field for the last time in the 1997 season. There you see the co-captains meeting at the center of the field for the introduction and the customary coin toss.
Okay. Good to meet you, Mr. Dixon. Let me introduce you to the other officials. Number 55 tonight is Captain Miller. Number 44 is Captain Poor. Number 10 is Captain Kennedy. And number 71 is Captain Johnson. You guys shake hands. Okay, gentlemen, I want to welcome you here tonight. You know where you're at. I want to welcome you to Kenan Stadium. I want to tell you two things. There's two reasons you guys are out here. One, it's an honor to be named captain of your team, to represent them here at Kenan Stadium. The other one is you guys are out here to help me. We emphasize sportsmanship in high school, and I expect you guys to take that seriously. If we have a problem on the field, I want you guys involved so that I don't have to throw penalties and throw people out of the ball game. You guys get up there and take care of it, and we'll have a good, clean ball game, okay? All right. You're the visitor. This is a silver dollar. I'm going to toss it. I want him to be able to hear it. If I drop it, we'll flip it again. Okay? Call it out loud. Heads. He called heads. Okay, it is a tails. Captain, you have won the toss. First off, that's yours for tonight. All right, you got your choice. You can kick, receive, defend the goal, or you can defer your choice to the second half. You want the ball. You want to receive. Which goal would you like to defend? All right, you guys will line up right over here. You guys line up right here.
Okay, the Wonders will get their hands on the football first, and let's take a look at their offensive starting lineups.
As you look there, Desmond Miller, the Shrine Bowler, Ricky Mann, who was pressed into duty as a center last week, Nick Seyfried, who was suspended in the Kings Mountain game, is back, and then you see Quincy Perdue and Philip Johnson, one of the heroes of last week's games. Then the skill positions, Kraft, the quarterback, and what a fine postseason he's had. Ivar Johnson, great blocks toward the end of the year. Nick Maddox, over 2,000 yards. Nick Gill, the receiver. Sheets and Jenkins as well. Then you look at the defense for the Rams, Kelly, Troll, Bryant, Hart, and Graves along the front. Then the secondary and linebackers, John Patterson, number 34, he will be the guy to watch tonight. Chris Kelly, Carlos McNeil, who's also the running back, Edwards, Matthews, and Henderson for the Rams.
It all began the first week of August with a practice, and now it's down to 48 tough minutes here at a neutral site, Kenan Stadium. The battle for the state championship. Nick Maddox is the deep back for the Wonders. There you see Justin Howell, number 3. He's the guy doing the place-kicking duties. The junior. Wonder what's going through his head right now, Woody.
Boy, he's ready to play. I know it. And I was thinking about the kicker you just mentioned. He's our first contestant tonight in the Don't Kick the Nick game.
Well, we'll see in just a second. Boy, they timed this down just perfectly. We've got 5 seconds to go till they whistle. I mean, this is, tell you what, the president may take some notes from this.
Like clockwork.
We are ready to get it on.
Boy, and the fans from both sides are up and yelling here early.
This is what you wait for. This is what all those hot days in July and August mean here at the end of the season. Hal comes forward, a squibber. Into the up man. This is going to be taken at about the 30-yard line. It is LaRon Caldwell, and he will get out to around the 35-yard line. So they tricked us. They didn't kick it to Nick. There's Bruce Hart.
Well, go ahead. They didn't trick us. We knew they weren't going to kick it to Nick Maddox. Nobody's been kicking it to Nick in the playoffs.
Well, William Kraft is probably going to give it to Nick.
Well, Burns did, you recall, late in that game, and they're still regretting it.
Wonders with good field position to start things out as they'll send 2 wide receivers, offset the backs, Maddox and Johnson behind Kraft. On first down, the toss sweep will go to Maddox. Getting a good block at the line of scrimmage, cutting it to the outside, and Nick Maddox is in the open. Down the sidelines, cuts it back. 60, inside the 30. Another block, he'll go inside the 25-yard line. Don't kick it at Nick, but you can't get it out of his hands all night.
My goodness, and what a spin move down the field, Randy, to buy a few extra yards. You also saw an outstanding block. Watch right here, Ivar Johnson. Bang, gets a man out of the way, and there goes Maddox to the corner. Watch this spin move. See ya. Oh, my goodness.
40 yards, or actually, about 40 yards from scrimmage. Well, that's a great way out of the box there. He was finally tackled on the play.
Carlos McNeil got it down.
And they'll go to Johnson, the big fullback. Hit and stopped at the line of scrimmage. Meet the center of the Guilford defense. Led by 71, Jake Troll, the defensive alignment. No gain on the play.
Well, that's what you've seen all year long, Randy. You see Maddox break off the huge plays, but you see Tron Brown being the steady performer who gets him, 3, 4, 5 yards a pop and picks up that key first down.
Brown on the backfield. He's the tailback out of the straight I this time. They'll send Sheets the tight end. Set him up on the left side in a slot. Out of the I. Brown looking. Nothing up the middle again that time. John Patterson, the guy Woody talked about, is going to be all around the football defensively tonight. Made the tackle. They actually probably lost a little bit. Maybe a half a yard on the play.
And boy, he exploded through the middle of the line as Coach Harden and the staff look on. It's going to bring up a key third down play for the Wonders here, 3rd and long.
3rd and 11, and how many times has William Kraft gone to the well on a big 3rd down conversion?
Well, watch for Danny Jenkins. That's been his favorite receiver down the stretch.
He split out to the left of your screen. Play fake, rolling to buy some time. Good protection. Kraft sees a man. He's open as Maddox at the 15. He's at the 10. Flags are down. Maddox is in the end zone.
Well, what I meant was watch out for Maddox.
Okay, right.
Let's see what the penalty is going to be all about.
That one could come back. Nelson Keller, the referee, will make the call. It's against Northeast Guilford. Touchdown stands. The Wonders are on the board, and they took less than 2 minutes, Woody.
Watch it here, and look at the time he's got. You see Safer with a good block there. A guy hanging all over Maddox. That was likely the call, Randy, but Maddox grabs it anyway and goes into the end zone. The Wonders zip down the field in about 4 or 5 plays and immediately break out on top. What a start.
They can't score unless it's 3rd and long. That's what it is.
I guess.
John Garver, how instrumental has he been this year?
Well, he was the hero in the Burns game, without a doubt.
Out of the hold of Justin Harden. The good snap, the spot, the kick was blocked. So the score will stand 6-0 with 10-12 to go here in the opening period as Andy Kelly knocked the ball down for the Rams. Back to the Kenan Stadium at Chapel Hill in just a minute. The Wonders getting set to kick it away after Nick Maddox catches his 8th touchdown pass of the season and 41st on the year. Wow. And that's something. No small task there. The kick. Did he touch it? That is the key. It will be a touchback, whatever the case, and the Rams will have it at the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Jeremy Edwards couldn't quite handle that potato.
And that's another good break for the Wonders. But, man, what an opening drive for Kannapolis. 2 huge plays for Nick Maddox, and they get in the end zone. Of course, now we talked about mistakes. That wasn't really a mistake by Kannapolis on the extra point, just good penetration by the Rams to block that one, and we're at 6-0 right now.
They work it out a kind of a flex bone, as Bruce Harden called it. Brian Dixon, your man. Number 34, John Patterson, who is going both ways. He's going to be around with football tonight. It will be Patterson, and he will carry folks for about 5, maybe 6 yards that time. Defensively, 55, Desmond Miller got a hold and waited on help. Jeff Sheets also. Let's look at the Wonder scoring drive.
4 plays, 66 yards, less than 2 minutes to get there. 26-yard touchdown pass from Kraft to Maddox, but Nick had the huge run that got him down close, and for Maddox, or rather for Kraft, that's his 7th touchdown pass of the season.
Maddox had over 2,200 yards coming into tonight's ball game. Ouch. That's like 5th in the state this year among the runners. 2nd down from the 25-yard line. It'll be pattern. No, the quarterback Dixon meets Paul Allen. A good fake, but Allen didn't fall for it. He stayed home and made the play.
And that's something, Randy, that I'm sure the Wonders picked up on from watching films. They like to do a lot of misdirection out of the backfield, as Coach Persley said earlier in the interview with Steve, and he said that during the press conference as well this week. There you see the Northeast Guilford offensive line, McCray, Troll, Stewart, Kelly, and Kelly along the right side. And then Dixon, Patterson, McNeil, Bryant, Harris, and Sanders. And we'll check out the Kannapolis defense in just a moment.
McNeil hasn't touched the ball. He's not only their leading rusher, but leading pass receiver as well. So definitely a passing situation here. 3rd and 5. Here's Dixon coming down the line. Options to McNeil. He'll have the first down, and he's off to the races. Out of bounds. It will be a first down on the 41-yard line. You see the speed from Carlos McNeil that time.
And there you see the Wonder defensive line. Johnson, Poor, Robinson, who's been playing very well of late, Miller, and Paul Allen. And then in the secondary and linebacking core, Kennedy, Sheets, Caldwell, Gill, Maddox, and Raymar Harris, who made the tackle there, are actually pushed McNeil out of bounds that time, but not until they picked up a big first down.
Great execution that time by Dixon, the quarterback, just holding it to the last minute, making the guy commit.
But an offense like that, Randy, you tend to put the ball on the ground a couple of times a game.
At the 41-yard line, first down. Play fake. Dixon pumps once, now forced out of the pocket, and will go down. Sacked by Desmond Miller.
My goodness, Randy.
Where did he come from?
Well, he stayed home on defense and kept that containment to keep Dixon from getting outside. Watch him here. Watch him fight off 1 block, 2 blocks, and then he gets the quarterback, and he is not getting away. Desmond Miller, you saw there why that kid's going to the Shrine Bowl, fought off 2 blocks to get that sack.
Desmond has 1 more week of football left, but he's worried about tonight.
No doubt.
A loss of 6 on the play. Back to the 35-yard line. Dixon sets him down and will give it to McNeil. Looking to pick his way, and I think he was kind of
I think Nick Gill got it.
I'm not sure what you call that kind of a tackle. It wasn't a clothesline, it was a lasso.
And you see Gill there saying, oh, no, don't be coming over here now. We're not having any of that.
None of that foolishness here.
Yeah. Well, the offensive set for the Rams looks very similar, Randy. You recall the way Burns set their offense.
Now it's the second third down in this series, but they had a little bit tougher chore this time. 13 yards to secure. They need to get just over midfield. McNeil is in motion. Dixon coming down the line. Options to McNeil, and he's stopped. Coming up, Harris, who is playing some decent corners so far here in the first 5 minutes of the game, but that will force the Rams to give it up.
Same play as they ran for the big first down the last time, but this time Rayvar Harris was waiting. Actually, I think it was a good job by Gill to turn McNeil back toward the inside a little bit more than he wanted to go.
Maddox is back deep.
And here's our second contestant in the Don't Kick the Nick camp.
Let's see if they do it this time. They're going to kick into a slight wind. And not a particularly high kick. Maddox will field it at the 20, backpedaling, trying to outrun a few folks, and will not get a chance to. Downfield, and you won't see that happen very often, was Darren Lipscomb for the Rams, and Maddox pinned back at about the 13-yard line.
Well, we talked about speed at the beginning of the game, Randy. You saw Maddox backtrack there to try and get around the corner and see if he could turn it upfield. But Northeast Guilford had enough speed to run Nick Maddox down, and that's something we don't say very often.
Had he got around that guy, then we had a lot of green in front. Well, the Wonders with a 6-0 lead will send Jenkins out to the far side, big side of the field. They've got Gill split to the bottom, working from the eye, and it will be Tron Brown, I believe, no gain, maybe a yard.
Well, he's having some tough going in there. He's the guy who's getting the banging up the middle chore tonight, and so far the Rams have been ready for that. It's Maddox around the end that's giving him a fit.
We have played about half of the opening period here at Kenan Stadium. 6-0, Kannapolis on top, facing second down, and we'll call it 10 at the 13. Have a slot this time on the right side. And we'll go with the end around. Here's Gill looking for a block, gets a good one. At the 20, a little shy of the first down, but it was a good block, springing him. Jeremy Edwards made the tackle for Northeast Guilford. It'll be third and short coming up.
And you know, Randy, the coaches always have a little something extra when you get to this time of year. We haven't seen this play from Kannapolis, and there goes Gill, and you see the great block upfield. Couldn't see who made it, but somebody got a good block in the backfield to make it happen. Looks like maybe Ricky Mann.
He's a Mr. All-Everything lineman. He'll play wherever you need him. He's kind of like Willie Poore.
Key third down play here.
Let's see if... Well, they're going to go to the tailback, and here's Maddox bouncing to the outside, looking for the block, and he gets the corner turn. Midfield, 40, 35, 30, Maddox inside the 15, 10, 5. He's in the end zone.
Oh, my goodness, Randy. You got to be kidding me. Now, you talked about speed. We talked about speed. That's the word of the night, and Maddox showed you what it's all about right there.
67 yards and a bolt of lightning, and the Wonders are up 12.
And another great block to spring him by Evar Johnson in the backfield. And look at these guys trying to catch him. I got it. No, you don't. I got it. No, you don't. See you in the end zone.
You think they were going to catch him, and he kept pulling away.
Man, I'm telling you, Nick's going to need some oxygen as far as he's been running here early in the game.
Lightning from the junior.
Man. That's something else. Now, he's got 100 yards in a quarter. He's got to.
They're going to line up and go for two. Needless to say, they've got Tron Brown in there to give Nick a chance to breathe. They'll play fake it. Kraft looking. Wide open in the end zone. Caldwell with the conversion, and the Wonders have bolted to a 14-0 lead here in the first 7 minutes of the ballgame. Minutes and 10 seconds remaining here in the first period at Kenan Stadium, and the Wonders are up 14-0 with some great offensive line blocking and the running of Nick Maddox. Here's the kick going deep. It'll be fielded at about the 10-yard line. Coming out with it is Jeremy Edwards, and he'll go down at about the 25-yard line. On the coverage, Donnell Neal for the Wonders. And
among others.
Yeah. The Wonders have used that big, long 40-yard play, and now the touchdown play, Woody, and that's just their bread and butter play. They kind of seal that in and get Nick around the corner, and
Well,
it's over.
And it's no secret. Coach Pursley said Monday of this week, we know their bread and butter play is try and get around the end with that sweep. But again, let's give a call to Ivar Johnson, Randy, making a huge block in the backfield to spring that play initially, and then the rest was Nick Maddox's speed.
So the Rams are kind of maybe in shock a little bit here in the first 7 minutes. Dixon will keep it. He's going to make something happen for about 4 yards. Upended. It looked like LeBron Caldwell, who was playing out of his shoes here early.
He's having a big game, no question. All the Wonders are so far.
It's a long way, but I tell you, there's the Brown scoring drive, 67 of it.
78 of it.
I'm sorry, 78.
87 total, but Nick Maddox with a huge run to break it. And both Kannapolis scoring drives have been under 2 minutes.
2nd and 5. Dixon will give to McNeil, looking for some room, and he hits a few folks, and depending on the spot, whether he'll have the first down or not. Sheets was down there. Looked like
Rayvar Harris,
number 19.
And there you get a good look at McNeil. He's got on the season, Randy, 1,888 yards, 29 touchdowns, and they're coming over toward the sidelines now for Northeast Guilford, and coming out is Justin Howell, who was in at a receiver slot.
So between Maddox and McNeil, they have about 8,000 yards between them.
And Maddox is now up to 42 touchdowns on the year.
He may break the state record at this rate. 3rd short, the Wonders have stopped him.
Let's see who gets up from there. It's Poor.
Willie Poor, the guy whose daddy in the 7th grade didn't want him to play football.
Yeah, I read that story. That was amazing. And he said, I snuck out to practice because my dad didn't want me to go. Finally, he saw how much I was enjoying it and how much I was getting out of it. And he said, okay, go play.
And he quit whining, and also he gave credit for his mama for saying, honey, let him play.
Yeah.
So,
and now they're no doubt some of the happiest people here, I bet.
I guarantee it. The second time the Wonder defense is held, and now it will be punting time for the Rams. Andy Kelly going to do the chores. The Wonders showing 7 guys on the line of scrimmage, and they don't have Maddox deep. They have Tremaine Robinson, who is a threat. The flag is probably too much time as the play clock ticked to 0.
Let's see. Here's the call. The referee is mic'd. Delay of game. So they're going to give Nick Maddox a rest after running 2 long wind sprints and put Tremaine back there and see what he can do.
I would think Nick deserves that rest.
Oh, yeah. Well, this is going to give the Wonders excellent field position because Robinson is standing beyond his own 40.
High snap, and Kelly will bring it down. No pressure, and gets off. What a kick into the wind. That one's going inside the 10-yard line, and that one could set a record. No return at the 5-yard line. It'll be dead. Now, line of scrimmage was what, the 30?
I think it was about the 25 or the 30, but man, what a boot.
So we'll figure up the net yardage on that one. That's 45, 55, about a 67, 65-yard kick.
I can't count that high. Man, what a thunderous kick.
We'll have to go back to the record books here and see what the longest punt is in state playoff history.
Tremaine Robinson was about where you should be for a normal kick, and when that one went in the air, you could just see his eyes widen. He knew he wasn't going to have any kind of a play on that.
Well, that'll get you field position back in a hurry.
Man,
oh man. Wonders leading 14-0. The clock ticking just inside 3 minutes here in the first period. Work it from their 5-yard line. Split backs. Sean Brown gets around the corner and will get about a yard. And then this bumped with authority coming up in a hurry, John Patterson. John tracked him down from all the way across the field that time.
And you see there why Coach Pursley is so lavish in his praise of John Patterson. He came a long way to make a great play on that one.
They actually didn't give him very much. I thought he may have picked up a yard. They're going to say
maybe 6 inches at the most.
Negligible.
Maddox is back into the backfield now.
And he's about 2 yards deep in the Carolina blue end zone. He'll get the toss. And he'll get stopped. Patterson.
Man, what a play, Randy. He shot through that gap in a huge hurry. And you saw Ivar Johnson there kind of going, where'd he come from?
Yeah, he said, I was supposed to block somebody, but he got behind me. Well, now if you're Coach Hart, you want to maybe just get a few yards to give your punter a chance to get it out. Give him a few more yards to work with.
In the Kings Mountain game, Randy, they were very effective, and even in the Burns game with using the quarterback sneak in these kind of situations, just to get a few extra yards of breathing room.
Yeah, you're working out of the eye. You're 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage, so you don't want to risk a safety. Of course, that might not be a bad option here. Well, look out. They're going to throw it out of the end zone, and here's Allen going deep. They battle, and it's going to be caught. Nick Maddox.
Oh, you got to be kidding me, Randy.
Nick Maddox at the 30, the 20, the 10. He will score a 98-yard touchdown pass.
Are you kidding me?
Sometimes you gamble and win, sometimes you gamble and lose. The Wonders win it this time.
And Maddox got bumped while that ball was in the air. Look, here's Paul Allen, Randy. We saw him do this against Concord, and what a strike. Maddox gets bumped. He still grabs it, and they've tried a couple of times to catch him from behind. Haven't been able to do it yet. You see Carlos McNeil, his counterpart, and he just says, I can't catch him. Forget it.
Regardless of what happens the rest of the game, if they bring the ballots by, Maddox is the MVP.
I'm telling you, look, he's going to have to go get some oxygen. Maddox has probably got 1,000 yards here in the first quarter.
The Wonders up 20-0 with a 98-yard touchdown pass. That might be a state championship game record. Here's Garber's kick, and it is true. 1:53 remaining at the first quarter, and the Wonders have taken a 21-0 lead. You talk about element of surprise. The fact that the Wonders threw out of their own end zone was a surprise. The fact that Paul Allen threw out of it was a surprise. The fact that Nick Maddox caught it against two people was a surprise. And then he scored.
And that's no surprise. Maddox is now up to 43 touchdowns on the year.
231 yards of total offense here in the first quarter is not history yet. The Wonders, what can you say? This has got to fire the defense up. And on the coverage, Ryan Kraft, that is Williams' brother.
I'm telling you, Nick Maddox, this has got to be one of the most devastating quarters by a single player in state championship history.
Well, what does Denise Williams say? Saving the best for last?
Man. Well, it's not even to the last yet. He's coming right out of the gate like gangbusters. This is something else now.
This has got to have the Rams just disheartened, but they know it's a long way to go. If anything, they may have scored too early.
Well, what they've got to do, Randy, is keep the ball here for a while. No matter what else, they've got to keep the ball here for a couple of first downs to see if they can get in sync and just keep the Kannapolis defense on the field for a little while.
Patterson banging for a couple. We checked the scoring drive, and one play was the big one.
Maddox, 98 yards, and again, under 2 minutes, and Kannapolis scores. Remember, they had a huge 99 or 98-yard drive against Burns or Kings Mountain in the playoffs, and they've done it again here. Man, I'm telling you what, this is amazing. Now, Northeast Guilford, it's going to be easy to get rattled here, but they can't afford to, or they're going to get run right out of the stadium. They've got to settle down and have some positive yards.
$1:10 to go here in the first period. Option out. The Wonders chase and will bring down, but it will be a first down or close, I believe. Darryl Bryant on the carry, and on the tackle was LaRon Caldwell for the Wonders. And it's going to be close enough for the measurement, I believe, and we will have our state championship appearance for the chain crew coming out here momentarily.
Well, let's see.
And naturally, they'll have to come all the way across the field to get as much TV time as possible.
That's right. And they're motioning for them to come out, and here they are.
I mean, they worked hard all year. I mean, this is a select group they've chosen from all around the state, probably.
No doubt. Look at that. I've never understood why they don't have somebody on the other side of the field to do that. I guess you want to have one official measurement.
Try to set 2 chains?
Yeah, that would be kind of tough. But, you know, it always seems like they've got to run to the other side of the field. They do get the first down. But, you know, when they have to do those measurements, it's almost never over by where the chain guys are.
Of course not. They demand, and they deserve that TV airtime. It is a first down.
Second first down of the game for Northeast.
We have 49 seconds remaining, and the clock will run here in the first period when they line it up here at the 36-yard line. Wonders with a 5-2 shade defensive look out of the flex ball. Here's Dixon. handing off, and Patterson carrying a few folks out to the 40, maybe the 41-yard line.
Looked like it was Gill in on the tackle along with Sheets and Caldwell and Miller, and well, you could name a bunch, and that's something both coaches talked about. Both these defenses swarmed to the ball, but unfortunately for the Rams so far, they've been swarming in the wake of Nick Maddox tonight. He's been simply outrunning them.
Bruce and the guys brought out the throwback jerseys. They may never take these things off.
They may forget about all kinds of new uniforms and just wear these forever. And he said the kids really like them too.
Oh, yeah. May not get this playoff. They will not. 12 minutes of the 1997 3A state championship game are in the books, and it's been all A.L. Brown. Back to Kenan Stadium in a minute. Kenan Stadium. There is a former A.L. Brown alumni, Ethan Horton, who played in the late 70s and early 80s, went on, great career in the NFL. Ethan, a fine fella, a product. They've retired his jersey here in Carolina.
Randy, state records are falling in bunches here. We'll tell you more about that in a moment.
Play fake.
Oh, my goodness!
Is sacked. It was Willie Poor. Willie says, they've been double teaming me all year. And I don't know.
And I don't care. Here I come.
Enough is enough. I want some TV time, too.
Second tackle for loss by Willie Poor. Miller had a sack earlier, but Poor had a tackle for loss on one of the defenders. Most touchdowns in a state championship game, 3. Maddox has tied that. Most longest rushing play, 65 yards. Maddox is already there. Longest passing play, 84 yards. They've already broken that, and they're going for more.
It is 3rd and 10. Here's Dixon coming down the line, options out. McNeil has got some room this time, and will have the first down up around midfield. Once again, LaRon Caldwell from the defensive back position making the tackle.
Boy, I'm telling you, Randy, you don't see a performance like this in a quarter ever.
Coach Torbush, recently named head coach here at Carolina, says, I know he's a junior, but he looks pretty good in Carolina blue. I can imagine.
And you know, Randy, that lurking around here somewhere, some of those college guys are checking things out. 7 carries, 47 yards for McNeil.
Here's the give to McNeil again, trying to round the corner. Gill got a hold of the leg, and then the rest of the Wonder Pursuit catches up. Looked like Robinson on top there, and they're having trouble unfouled. No, actually, Mark Kennedy, one of those instrumental leaders, a senior, doesn't get a lot of publicity, but he's part of the glue on this this unit.
One of the captains, no doubt, and he does a fine job. And Randy, I believe this is the first time the Rams have crossed midfield.
You're correct. Their best field position of the game at the Wonder 48-yard line, where it is 2nd down and 8. Here's Dixon again, down the line, stopped. It was Jeff Sheets going both ways, as he has all year. Another senior rising to the top here for the Wonder defense.
Well, they picked up a couple of first downs here, Randy. This is their best drive of the game, but they really need to pick up another first down here. If they can get to the 40-yard line, they'll have another first down, and this will be their best drive of the game. And they desperately need that to keep something going here. Boy, they've tried everything. They've tried kicking it away from them. They've tried pinning them at the 2-yard line, and so far, nothing has worked.
Dixon with a single setback, wing back on the right. He'll come down the line here on 3rd down, keeps it. He's got the first down. Dixon in the clear, down to about the 34-yard line of the Wonders. It was once again his counterpart, number 2, LaRon Caldwell, making the tackle.
And LaRon fought off a block to make that one happen downfield, but not before the Rams pick up a first down. Now they look like they've settled down a little bit, Randy. They're in the Kannapolis side of the field for the first time with some decent yardage, and looks like the Wonders are going to ask for a timeout.
9:42 to go in the first half. Kannapolis by 21. Back we are at Kenan Stadium. The Rams were their best drive of the game here. Have it 1st and 10 at the Wonders. 35-yard line as we peer into the eyes of Dixon, the quarterback, and he'll give it up the middle and about a yard. Stacked up by the center of the line, Marcus Kennedy on top.
And the fans are enjoying this one immensely. As well they should be. But I'm telling you, I'm impressed so far with Dixon. He's undoubtedly the glue that's keeping things together here when it would have been easy for Northeast Guilford to just kind of fold up their tent, down 21-0 quickly early in the game. And I know a team that's 14-1 is not likely to fold up their tent, and Dixon is a big reason why. He's playing very well.
At the full movement on the left side of the line, it looked like 67 jumped, and that was Kevin McRae, the left tackle. He lined up, kind of stumbled, it looked like it. That'll cost him 5 yards, and that is a 5 yards they can't really afford to lose right now. 2nd and 14, back it up to the Wonder 39-yard line. Well, if anything, this series, a couple of first downs, it'll give Nick a chance to catch his breath. That's side, isn't it?
And he hasn't been playing in the defensive secondary. He's got to be tired, Randy. That's 3 long sprints.
Out of the full wishbone attack this time, and they try the middle with a fullback, going for about 2 yards. Kennedy there, along with there, you see Nick Gill.
Patterson on the carry, and Coach Bursley was telling an interesting story about him at the press conference this week. Said he was on the JVs, and they knew he was going to be good. They wanted him to come up, but he didn't want to come up to varsity. And Coach Bursley said, my goodness, why don't you want to come play varsity? He said, well, I want to carry the ball. And he said, well, I got news for you. We got running backs. You're not carrying the ball. You're going to be a running back. Well, they had an injury to their fullback late in the year, and now here Patterson is carrying the ball.
And there he goes again, and actually the Wonders give him a couple of extra yards as they sling him. Kennedy hit him down low, and Gill got him up top. It'll be 4th down. And are they going to punt?
Well, you might as well go, Randy. You're down 21-0. They tried punting and pinning them deep. It didn't work. No, it looks like they are going to go.
It'll be 4th down and 8. The ball at the Wonder 33. The line to make the Kannapolis 25 as the fans hugging to their feet. They've been on their feet all night long. 3 wide receivers, and Dixon rolls left. Good time, cuts it over the middle and almost intercepted. Kennedy is kicking himself. He had a touchdown if he held on.
Sure did, but a fine play nonetheless, Randy. He was right where he had to be, got his hands on it and knocked it down. Watch him coming back here. He's in the perfect spot, man, and I don't think Dixon ever saw him.
Give credit also up the middle. Rashad Robinson, the nose, was putting a little pressure on Dixon.
You know, Randy, Robinson's a guy who hasn't gotten a lot of attention because of Desmond Miller, the Shrine Bowler, and the huge plays that Big Philip Johnson, 71 there in your picture, keeps making. But I'm telling you what, Robinson has had some big performances for the Wonders, particularly in the playoffs.
Wonders will take over at their own 33-yard line. Back to the eye with 3 wide. They'll work it to Tron Brown. He kind of bruises them inside the tackles for about 4, maybe 5 yards that time, up near the 38-yard line. Tron Brown will go out of the lineup, and I believe Maddox is checked back in. Well, the luxury Bruce Hart and his coaches have had this year to rotate these 2 backs.
Well, one record the Wonders didn't get, most points in a quarter, was 27, set by Lincolnton back in 1993.
Well, we still got 2.5 quarters to go, so that one's still up for grabs. And the ball is up for grabs as Corey Maxwell, my mistake, has checked into the Wonder backfield. And the progress will be spotted at the 34-yard line. Chris Kelly with the tackle. Maxwell did the right thing, got back and got the football.
Well, that's what you want to do. A break like this can turn things. Even though Kannapolis has a 3-touchdown lead, you certainly don't want to put the ball in position on the ground for the Rams to get it and get a little momentum and feel like they can get back in it. When you've got a team down like this in a huge game or in any game, you got to put them away.
Let's see if William Kraft goes to the air. Play fake. Great time. He's got a man open, complete. And I believe it is a first down across midfield for the Wonders. And the man that has done it all year long, Danny Jenkins, the 6'5", good-looking target. If you're a quarterback, William Kraft got to be saying, I'm going to buy this guy pizza tonight.
And they've been doing this very effectively late in the year. Look how much room he had around him, Randy. There was nobody within 8 yards of him, north, south, east, or west. He had all the room in the world. The officials are taking a timeout now. I don't know what the situation is. I think it was just to move the chains.
Well, the Wonders haven't had too many 3rd and long opportunities because they haven't had the football long enough. They've just been scoring left and right here with Maddox. Jenkins now with 17 catches on the year. He leads all the Wonder receivers. Here's the give. Evar Johnson, and a flag is down. I said, well, Evar's off to the races, but nobody was chasing him.
He had a big hole over there, and he's turning around after the whistles blew like what?
Kraft is 2 for 2, 42 yards. I wonder when they'll quit and when they'll start giving Kraft credit. You know,
boy, they should have started giving him credit a long time ago. Motion on the Wonders, false start. That's going to push him back 5 yards.
It will stay first down. The clock shows exactly 6 minutes remaining in the first half. There you see.
Coach Persley was in there somewhere. You couldn't see him clearly, but he was in there.
Here come the Wonders breaking the huddle at their own 41-yard line. Kraft will give it to Johnson, and he'll lower the shoulder. Got about 2 that time, up near the 48. Wrestled to the ground there.
Doesn't get a lot of carries, Randy, but I'm telling you, that kid has made a lot of tremendous blocks here to help the Wonders get to this game.
One of those little things that it takes. And he's only a junior.
What a backfield next year. Yeah. Johnson and Maddox again. 5th play of the drive for the Wonders.
2nd and 13 at the 48.
This is the longest drive for Kannapolis tonight. The previous long was 4 plays.
Kraft looking upfield and incomplete. Looked like he was trying to set up maybe something on the screen, but kept fading and fading and fading, and then
I think he just had to get rid of it.
Yeah, good coverage downfield, and it'll be 3rd and long now. That'll stop the clock with 5:02 remaining here in the first half.
Well, let's see if Paul Allen's coming out.
Yeah, you got to watch him.
I don't see him. Here comes Kraft, but no 39.
I know Bruce might bring out Willie Poore and let him throw it the way things are going tonight.
Man, I'm telling you what, this is something to behold.
They break the huddle. They off sheets to the top. You've got Blair Hart along with Jenkins wide to the bottom. The Wonders a little confused on offense. We'll call a timeout. 5:02 to go in the first half. They're up 21-0. On the play, and the Wonders probably say, well, let's play for field position. We've got less than 5 minutes to go here in the first half. You play the first half to get to the second half, and they got 21 points on the board, and theoretically that's all you need if the defense plays good.
So far, Tron Brown, 5 carries, 3 yards. He's been banging for some tough ones up the middle. Hasn't really been able to break anything yet. Hadn't had to because of the way Nick Maddox has been playing.
Here's Danny Jenkins. Not only is he a great receiver, but he has been punting the daylights out of the ball this season. And it looks like
somebody moved early.
Northeast had a few folks speed.
Yeah, left a little bit early.
Yes, they did. Did not give the proper hand signals to make the left turn.
Here comes the call. Let's see.
Got to be offsides against Northeast.
On the defense. Get down.
Nelson Keller, the referee tonight. So that'll give Jenkins really negligible 5 more yards closer to the opponent's end zone. They're showing 10 guys on the line of scrimmage. The defense for the Rams.
They did it again. They did it again.
Well, you do this about 2 more times, we'll have a first down. The Wonders set, and when they set, the Rams jump in unison.
Yeah, they did, about 4 of them.
That's 10 yards of the 18. Now we need 7 more.
And the Northeast Guilford fans booing a little bit over there, but facts is facts.
That's a good call. Jenkins might take off and run the football now if we get doing it one more time here. That'll make it interesting. A long count. Nobody jumped that time. Jenkins plenty of time and a gorgeous kick. Fair catch signaled for and made inside the 20-yard line. And that is McNeil. So that's where the Rams, down 21-0 with 3:50 to go in the first half, will set up shop. Well, we've seen cold this year. We've seen rain. We've seen wind.
Don't even go there, Randy. I know where you're going. Don't even start that snow and ice stuff.
I was trying to get around to the mailman. You know, the Wonders are kind of like the mailman. They went to the mountains and the cold, the fog. I mean, it will not keep them for their appointed destiny.
They're delivering, no question.
Here's Dixon. And he'll keep it this time, and nowhere to go. And the ball is loose, and the Wonders may have got it.
Let's see for the signal. They do have it.
The ball was stripped loose, and Paul Allen, I believe, is the guy who fell on it, but we'll probably get a chance to look at it.
Watch 55 right here make the jarring hit. Bang! I think it was Sheets that pulled it loose, and Allen came up with it. But, man, what a jolt delivered by Desmond Miller.
Well, the Wonder offense off the field for less than a minute, back on with William Kraft and company, and they will operate just inside the 20-yard line of the Rams. They're in field goal range right now. They're not thinking field goal. Boy, if they could push another one in here before halftime.
3 receivers, 1 setback.
Here's Kraft. Pressure, throwing across the middle, and
Did he get it?
No signal yet.
I think he got it.
They're going to give him the catch.
Yes, he did. My goodness, what a catch, Randy. That was spectacular. Jenkins was sliding down between a couple of defenders. Watch this. Nice pass and sliding down back the other way to grab that one. Fine play.
Talk about threading the needle. Kraft went between 4 people. That is now 18 catches on the year. 2 big ones in this game. The Wonders, 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. Back to the I formation. Kraft gives it to Johnson. He's inside the 5. Touchdown! Evar Johnson with his 3rd touchdown of the year. And they've all come in this playoff run.
Man, and what a hole he had up the middle, Randy. He had to run through one guy at the end, but look at that blocking up front to spring him. I mean, Steve Gant could have run through that hole.
Good things come to those who work hard. He gets the big payoff because look what he's done for his teammates all year long.
Absolutely.
Nobody touched him, hardly. John Garver, the junior, in to attempt the extra point. Justin Hart the hold. It's down, and it is up. And off to the left. No good. 3:19 remaining before the break. The Wonders with a commanding 27-0 lead.
And our erstwhile sideline field reporter Steve Gant tells us now that Nick Maddox is having a little problem with an upset stomach, evidently. That's why he's gone to the locker room. Fumbles it again is McNeil. He's got it now, though.
And he'll go down at about the 30-yard line.
And you know, Randy, you get all the excitement and get all the juices flowing in a big game like this, then you zip down the field about 70 or 80 yards 3 times in a row, and that can get your stomach churning a little bit. I know it got mine going.
Well, we'll check the Brown scoring drive. Didn't take them long here.
2 plays, 24 seconds, and Johnson, the 8-yard touchdown run.
Could have been a situation with Nick also a dehydration, man. I tell you, we saw a record-setting performance in the first 12 minutes of this game, and maybe the best thing for him, they may have an IV in him before it's over with. If he's just sick, I hope he's going to be feeling better. You hate to see him miss the second half of this game as the pass to McNeil a little behind him and Dixon being helped up off the ground.
By Desmond Miller, who put him there.
Desmond says, well, this is my turf now, unless you want to take it away from me.
Well, you mentioned earlier, Randy, in the open, talking about this is like the Super Bowl for these kids in a big-time environment. The Kannapolis kids really got to be just enjoying this.
And it helps.
As much as you can imagine.
It helps to have the coaches who have been here.
Yeah.
You know? You got the Glenn Cooks and the Bill Whitemans, Bob Jacobs.
Dixon went down in the backfield. I think he was trying to hand that one off.
I think he did get it handed off, but it went for about 2 yards maybe. So with just inside 3 minutes to go here in the first half, it'll be 3rd down. The line to make, the Ram 41-yard line.
I think he was going down just as he tried to make that exchange, Randy. He got a big hit.
Senior-dominated backfield here with Brian Dixon and John Patterson and company. Wonder fans on their feet, urging the defense, which has been spectacular here in the first half on. And they'll stop them short of the first down.
I think it was Robinson who got him, 54. Let's see if he gets up out of the bottom. Yeah, there he is. He got him.
Just kind of rode along for the ride. And now Northeast Guilford will take their time here on 4th down. They'll have to give it up. Kannapolis, with their proficiency in scoring, Darryl Bryant
He was the ball carrier last time. I thought that was Patterson, but it was 32 instead of 34.
Kannapolis, with their proficiency in scoring so quickly, still has 2 minutes here in the first half to do something with the football, and that's certainly within reason. As Andy Kelly, no pressure at all, and this one a little bit shorter than that 60-mile punt he had in the first quarter. And it will go out of bounds. So Wonders at the 35-yard line.
That had to be the longest kick we've seen this season from punt formation, Randy. And we've seen a good one. The Gaster kid at Albemarle is one of the best punters in the state. But we never saw him boom one like that.
No, and the kid from Burns was great.
He was getting a great roll, though. He wasn't kicking it real deep. He was just getting a spectacular roll every time.
Well, if you're the coaching staff for Kannapolis, Woody, right now, you're up 27 points. You got a minute 45 to go. Good field position. Do you try to get another one quickly, or you play it next to best?
Well, I think you go a couple of plays here and see how things develop. If you got a shot, go.
Yeah, they're going to keep it on the ground and give it to Tron Brown. He'll go for about 3 off the left side to the 38-yard line, and Kelly over there on the tackle.
So the clock still runs, about a minute and a half to go. And how nice to see Tron Brown getting a shot at a state championship here after all he's done to help this team. Only 192 carries coming in. You compare that with Nick Maddox's 204, they don't look that far apart. 1,405 yards for Tron Brown, averaging 7.3 a carry, and he had 15 rushing touchdowns coming in here.
2nd down and 7. Johnson, the ball is loose. They missed the exchange there, and Kraft fortunate enough to get the ball back. He saw it. A little bit upset there. Him and Ivar just never had the clean exchange, so looks like a timeout has been called by Northeast Guilford to stop the clock with 56 seconds remaining. It'll be 3rd and 11 when we return to Keenan Stadium. As we return to Keenan Stadium, the Wonders have 3rd and 11 at their 34-yard line. And Tron Brown stopped by Andy Kelly and company in the backfield. And they will be forced to give it up here as Northeast Guilford has called, you got timeouts, you can't carry him over, so they called another timeout with 46 seconds remaining.
Well, they've got to do everything they can, Randy, to try and get some points here before half. They can't allow Kannapolis to simply run the clock out and not take another shot at the end zone. Under normal circumstances, a game where you're down, a touchdown or even 2, you might play things a little bit differently. But when you're down this far, you've got to give your team every opportunity possible to try and get some points here. And you've got to hang it all out down 27-0. There is no tomorrow, as they say, the cliche for a game like this. But, boy, you have to take every opportunity when you're down this far.
There's a shot of the Northeast Guilford fans there. That's here on the south end of the stadium. As you see the time remaining. And as we pan back there, I'm not sure. It's hard to guesstimate. There's the Wonder sidelines.
But I see the Kannapolis band here, Randy. I don't see the Northeast Guilford band, so maybe the Big Green Machine's going to put on a show for us here at halftime.
Well, don't you know, these guys are the band.
This is their state championship, too.
Man, they have practiced just as hard and as long hours as well. Punting time, and Jenkins will be forced to kick it. 10 guys on the line of scrimmage for Northeast Guilford. They're coming after him. Peel back for the return. McNeil is back. He'll get a chance at the run back from the 34. Zigs and zags and goes down.
It looked like Seyfried got a hand on him, and then I didn't see who finished him, but Seyfried started it.
Yeah, he knocked him off balance, and the Wonders' coverage was there. So with 36 seconds remaining, Brian Dixon and company will have a couple of shots here, maybe at the end zone. They have not thrown deep tonight.
Well, Dixon really hasn't had a lot of time. When he's gone back to set and throw, more often than not, he's been trying to run for his life back there as the Wonders are getting some excellent penetration.
And Dixon will give it to McNeil, and they'll try on the left side, and he's got a little seam and almost got away. Nice play by number 19 for the Wonders, and that was Ravar Harris. Looked like he was going to gain a lot more out to the 42-yard line. Going without the huddle as we're inside 15 seconds to go. Here's Dixon coming down. cuts it upfield and will be lassoed a little short of the first down at the 45-yard line. Jeff Sheets, one of the first tacklers over there for the Wonders defensively.
And you can see, Randy, what Kannapolis has been working on. Timeout call by Northeast Guilford. They're ready for that. Coach Persley coming out to talk to his team now. 8 seconds to go in the half. But you can see early in the game, Dixon was able to make some yardage. He got that pitch out, got a big run from McNeil. Then you had the defense thinking McNeil. He was able to keep it for a couple of big gainers. Now it looks like the Wonder defense has recovered. They're staying home. Even though Dixon's getting some yards, they're not able to rip off the big plays like they were early.
The last timeout, by the way, called. So the Rams are out of TOs. And we're almost out of time here with 8 ticks to go. There you peer into the huddle with Coach Persley. And they're going to bring the chains out to measure. Perhaps close enough for a first down. Looks like it's a little short.
Not quite. But at this point, it doesn't really matter. You got time for one play. Maybe one of those Hail Mary deals where you put 3 receivers on one side and have Dixon throw it as far as he can and hope for the best.
And if you're Kannapolis in the secondary, don't let them get behind you.
Right.
They'll probably have their safety and free safety and the corners drop back about 20 yards or so.
Man, have the Wonders come out here breathing fire or what?
I tell you what, it's warmed up about 20 degrees when they hit the field tonight. That's probably what was wrong with Nick. They had to cool his shoes on. He melted them. Toss to McNeil. They're going to go with a halfback option. Going deep. Triple coverage here. This one out of bounds with 1 second to go.
They're going to get another crack at it, and they're going to exchange some words. LaRon Caldwell's over there, and he's getting some words from the receiver on that play, who was Vince Harris, number 20. And I think Caldwell just kind of pointed up there and says, look at the scoreboard.
Yeah. You know, it's got to be a strange feeling if you're the Rams. You're on this side of the field. You've got 10,000 people behind you screaming. For the Wonders, they can hear themselves talk over there across the fairway. Nobody behind them, nobody to bother them, or, you know, they're pretty well focused over there probably.
Well, it sure looks like it so far.
No diversions at all. Final play of the first half. Wonder what this one's going to be.
Oh, look at Miller.
It's going to be a QB sack as Desmond Miller got his second one of the first half. Listen to the roar from the Wonder fans as their team leads it 27-0 as they head to the locker room. That time, Philip Johnson.
Boy, 3 Wonders were all over Bryant that time before he could really get anything going. He didn't quite get a yard.
27-0. The Wonders with a 21-0 lead in the first quarter alone.
Well, now Northeast Guilford can put some points on the board. They put a couple of 50s on the board this year.
Here is Dixon. Stopped from behind. It was Jeff Sheets, the senior, pinning him. They'll bring up 3rd and long now at about the 41-yard line. The line to make just over the 47 for Northeast Guilford. And limping just a little bit is Nick Gill, and he's asking to come out. They have got a Charlie horse of some sort, able to come out under his own power.
And the trainer's coming out to check him now. He's going very slowly over toward the sidelines. Looked like coming in to replace him for Kannapolis is maybe Tron Brown.
Tron, yeah, 22 is checked in, so Tron has played some corner and defensive end. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Brian Dixon leads them up. Wing back on the right, 1 wide or 2 wide to the bottom. Here's Dixon, straight drop, pressure from behind, throwing, tipped and incomplete. Battle down at about the Wonder 40-yard line, and a good one. And it looks like when the Wonder slightly shaken up.
Rayvar Harris a little slow to get up. He was back on coverage. But you mentioned pressure. Randy Phillip Johnson crunched Dixon just as he threw that one. Dixon was able to get it away, but just barely.
That's the things you never see, what happens after he lets the football go.
Oh, boy, he doesn't want anybody to see that because Johnson pounded him.
And don't say it doesn't send a message. It put a subconscious thought in that quarterback's head. He's getting pounded on there, as you see Andy Kelly,
who has a state championship game record to his credit.
Has the wind to his back this time. And it will be a kind of a line driver. Tremaine Robinson fields, does a 360, eludes one man, eludes two, and we'll get back to about the 30-yard line. On the coverage downfield was Brian Dixon. So that kid's going all over the place. Playing quarterback on the punt return teams, and now the Wonder offense on the field for the first time here in the second half.
And look who's back.
And much to the chagrin probably of Coach Persley.
There he is.
And he gets ahead because don't think they don't know
what's going on. They've got their score pages down there.
I mean, 16 games into the year, you should know the numbers by now.
Oh, yeah.
Johnson and Maddox behind Kraft. And the toss will go to Maddox. Flags is down. Maddox weaves, and we'll get about 5. But it might come back.
And we'll get the call from Nelson Keller, the referee.
Chris Graves on the tackle for Northeast Guilford. And here he comes to make the call.
Motion against the Wonders.
That'll cost him 5 right off the bat. Been relatively penalty-free, Woody, as we made mention, but those 5 yards right here are not the killer-type penalties that you see. You get down inside the red zone.
There's the call. 3 penalties for 15 yards for the Wonders. Remember that stretch, though, in the second quarter where Kannapolis was trying to punt and Northeast Guilford jumped twice in a row.
Back to the 24. 1st and 15. Single setback this time. And that's Ivar Johnson.
Whoa.
Bangs into a few folks and got about 2. Met head up with Brian Mills, the nose guard. And that was a collision.
Chris Kelly was in there as well. There you see Bruce Harden and then Shelwyn Klutz with the headset on. He's the quarterback coach, also the basketball coach. And we know Shelwyn can play some hoops.
He said he had about 8 players. He's kind of undermanned on the basketball team at this point of the season.
Some of those guys are here.
There's about 8 kids that's basketball players out there right now. On second down, Kraft spins, looks over the middle, throws, and incomplete. Jeff Sheets had it for a moment, defended that time by Sammy Henderson, who knocked it away.
And Sheets almost came up with that, Randy. He had a step toward the middle of the field. And that's where Kraft looks very comfortable. He doesn't look nearly as comfortable toward the sidelines as he does going over the middle of the field. He really has a touch for that particular type pattern.
Plays within himself, doesn't try to go 50 yards on a pass play.
And you mentioned it earlier, Randy. It's about time he started getting the credit that he's due, especially the way he's come up big late in the year.
Now the senior sees something he doesn't like, and there's that leadership coming to the top. He'll call a timeout with 9:44 to go in the third quarter. As we return, the Wonders will have a 3rd down and 13 at their own 25-yard line. Twin sets this time with 2 wide. And the play fake, pressure. Kraft will go down and eat it. Get the punt team on.
Well, that was a smart thing, Randy. He could have tried to run around back there and wave the ball in the air and all kinds of other stuff like that, but he just got on the ground that time rather than risking a bad play. Even though a sack is not a good play, you don't want to risk that ball coming loose and giving the Rams any kind of momentum here.
First time tonight that the Rams have got a sack against the Wonder quarterback is Jenkins. Danny Jenkins on. Trying to kick it to Carlos McNeil, standing up at about midfield.
10 men up. They're going to come after it.
A long count. Now they set. Another one. It's forever, isn't it? They get it away. Jenkins with a high end-over-ender. Away from McNeil. And hits high bounce and will go dead at the Kannapolis 42-yard line. So the best starting field position of the game for the Rams of Northeast Guilford. Out of McLeanville, that's just a little northeast of Greensboro. So they didn't really have far to come.
Well, Kannapolis has a huge lead, no question there, Randy. But what sometimes happens to teams in this position is you get a little bit of a letdown. You start to think, well, we've got it in the bag. But I know those coaches for A.L. Brown were in the locker room talking to these kids like they were behind.
Full blown this time. Dixon coming out, keeps it. Oh, what a move. Dixon is in the clear. They track him down inside the 10-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle by Nick Gill. What a great move by Bryant Dixon, the quarterback. And execution perfect that time.
And that's the play they've been looking for. Kannapolis had been doing a good job of staying home here. but they were going for the pitch. And look at Gill running down to save a touchdown there.
Looked like they had two guys going for the pitch, man, and they caught him kind of in no man's land and nobody to get the quarterback.
Exactly right.
First down and goal at the 109-yard line. 8.5 to go in the third period.
Northeast fans heard from all of a sudden.
Here comes Dixon again. He'll be stopped after about a yard. It was Allen teaming up. Looked like Sheets over there, and Desmond Miller getting up off the bottom of the pile.
And Dixon a little slow to get up. That one before had to take a little something out of him, and to call his number again like that and to get pounded has to really take a little wind out of his sails.
Of course, he had about 900 pounds crunching you from different angles as well. Second and goal, the 8. Wonder fans urging their defense on. You got to get up and cheer. It's too cold to sit down tonight. Stop. McNeil for a loss. Willie Poor. He has lived in the Ram backfield tonight.
He is having a huge game. Third tackle for loss in this game for Willie Poor.
A loss of 2. Back to the 10. It's third and goal.
And you know, Randy, that tackle by Gill to save the touchdown is more important than it may look. You think, well, we're up 27-0, no big deal if they get 7. You want to make them use as much time as possible if they're going to get points. You don't want to give up the quick scores that could get them back in the game.
Let's see if Dixon goes to the air this time. Third and goal at the 10. And he missed the handoff because he was stopped by
Rashad Robinson.
Got him in the backfield before he could get the handoff off. He almost got the handoff, Woody.
Well, that almost happened on a play in the first half, but this time Robinson just wrapped him up, and Dixon had to eat that one before he could get it to one of his backs.
The Wonder defense has got a little pride out there as well, with 5 shutouts on the season. And the most recent one, a 9-0 shutout of Concord. It's fourth and goal at the 12. They're going for it.
Got to.
Dixon rolling left, looking to pass pressure. The ball is loose, and Kannapolis will have it.
It's Miller.
But Philip Johnson was the guy who knocked it loose. Boy, the bookends have done it again, and the Rams are turned away.
And what a heartbreaker, Randy. They get all the way down here close. Look at Johnson and Poor, or rather Johnson and Miller. Miller fought through 2 guys, and Johnson knocks it loose. But my goodness, I'm telling you what now, that has to be just a backbreaker there. It really has to take something out of your spirit for this game.
And Philip Johnson can do the Desmond Miller strut after a play like that. I think they'd be a good dance team.
Yeah.
Here's Johnson trying to eat up a little yardage up the middle. Got about 2 out to the 27-yard line.
And good sportsmanship there, being helped up by one of the Northeast players was big Evar Johnson.
Yeah,
I think that was Bryant helping him up.
These big guys down to the line for Northeast Guilford. They see Johnson. There you see turnovers. One has led to a touchdown by the Wonders.
Well, we said mistakes would be the difference in a game like this. Even though those 2 turnovers haven't been the backbreaker, it's been Nick Maddox, but turnovers in a game like this are very costly.
Maddox picking his way out across the 30 to the 32-yard line. It'll be third down and short yardage when they come back as we tick inside 6 minutes to go in the third period.
You know, one of the interesting things that I heard Bruce Harden say this week, and we had it in our tease before the game, is Nick Maddox doesn't even know how good he is. After tonight, he might begin to suspect.
Have a championship ring on his finger.
Yeah.
That not too many people even get to this point in their football careers, to this game. Maddox stopped. They tried a little counter that time, and Maddox stopped at about the 30, and that'll force the punting team on again. Meanwhile, the clock continues to run. Nearing the 5-minute mark of the third period, as McNeil will go back and punt receiving formation. And
this is, excuse me, Randy, this is another thing Maddox has done all year, blocking for Jenkins. You know, that's not an easy job. You've got to have good vision and see which side is coming through and be able to get there in position to give your kicker the extra second he needs.
The Rams have shown 10 guys all night long on the line of scrimmage. Let's see if they come full born this time. Good snap. Jenkins, plenty of time, and gets off a Butte. Not particularly long, but high and out of bounds across the far way at about the Kannapolis 47-yard line. So, good field position again for Northeast Guilford with 4:31 remaining, third period.
But what a tremendous defensive stand for the Wonders before that after the huge play by Dixon. And again, let's give some credit to Nick Gill.
Yeah. He kept him out of the end zone and gave his defense a chance. And respond they did. Brian Dixon, who obviously will have the best numbers offensively tonight after that fine run in the Rams' backfield. Keeps it, options out to McNeil. He's trying to get around the corner.
Whoa.
Eludes one man and steps out of bounds on the Wonder 38-yard line.
Dixon gets pounded again, but man, there was a great stiff arm by McNeil going around the corner there. Ravar Harris came at him with a head of steam, but McNeil just pushed him away and kept going. Watch this. Watch the stiff arm here. Watch Harris.
Man, that's a lost art in high
That's
school
a
football.
big-time stiff arm right there.
Nick Gill pounded Dixon, you said, the quarterback. And tell you one thing, Brian.
He's going to be sore.
Out of the full ball this time. Second and short. They need two. They'll go to the fullback, and he'll be short, I believe, depending on the spot.
It's going to be real close. That was Patterson.
Patterson is...
It's like you got Johnson and Robinson on the stop.
As you see Coach Pursley on the sidelines wondering, boy, what happened? We got struck by lightning early, and it's tough to overcome. They'll bring the chains in. This is the customary second half appearance.
All right, that's their two now. They should be done.
Yeah, they're out of appearances there. You only get two a game. And once again, they come the majority of the field across the waterway.
That happens every time.
It's never on the other hash part.
No, never. Let's see. Short, just by inches, looks like. There's the distance.
4:06 left in the third period. Well, Wonder defense says, hey, we can stop them. They're pumping the crowd up over here.
Well, you don't have any choice, Randy. Down 27-0 when you get down here.
That's 4-down territory.
Yeah, absolutely, even if you don't make it.
Everybody in tight. Dixon saying something to the backfield, making sure they're on the same page, and will option out. The ball is one-hopped, and getting the first down goes Darryl Bryant. He got a fortunate bounce that time. That could have been disaster in the backfield.
That's what we talked about earlier, Randy. A team that runs around and throws the ball around in the backfield like that will often put it on the ground a couple of times. You know, we used to see Forest Hills do that when they had the dominating teams, but they would always put the ball on the ground a couple of times a game. They were big enough and strong enough and talented enough to overcome it.
Volatile offense, but also they can backfire on you too. First down and 10. Dixon hit it and stop. That's got to be a sack. And
that's
once
Robinson.
Again, Robinson the nose.
So 2 sacks for Robinson, sack for Johnson. Actually 2 now for him, or Miller. Miller has 2, Johnson has 1, and Robinson has 2. That's 5 sacks in the game for Kannapolis.
That's incredible. Talk about beating your man off the mark. And the nose guard is just...
I mean, that play...
It's like they don't even have a center.
Yeah, it never existed. That play never got started.
A loss of 3, or we'll say 2, second and 12 at the 38-yard line. Here's Dixon again, straight drop to pass. Going deep, he's got a receiver behind the coverage, complete inside the 5, touchdown.
That's McNeil, he's their leading receiver.
Eluded the secondary that time, and McNeil comes up with his 14th catch of the year and 4th touchdown pass of the year.
There you see it, and he is wide open. He got behind Paul Allen, and Ravar Harris fell down back there, or he was...
That was your coverage.
Yeah, I think he was the man who was responsible for getting there. It looked like he slipped and fell down.
So Northeast Guilford getting on the board finally with 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go here in the third period. Now it will be Brian Dixon to hold, Justin Howell to attempt the extra point. Good snap, and the kick is up, and it is off to the left, no good. That's a big miss. 27-6 our score. The Wonders still in command. They'll get the kickoff when we return. The Rams on the board. Finally, it takes them almost 3 periods to dent the Wonder defense, and they do it passing. As Howell ready to kick it away.
first completion of the game for the Rams, and it was a big one. Uh-oh, guess who?
Take it deep. And finally picked up at about the 7-yard line is Maddox. Angling across the far way, looking for some room. Not there. He'll go down at the 13. And the Rams coverage was there. Anytime you go laterally that long, it gives... You got to go north-south. And Nick a little shaken up there.
He is. He is not the same player we saw in the first half. He is struggling to get on his feet. There's the scoring drive. 5 plays, 47 yards. Only took a minute 41. The 39-yard touchdown pass from Dixon to McNeil. As we said, their first completion of the game. But again, Randy, that defensive stand where Gill saved the touchdown, then the defense stood up for a couple of plays and forced a turnover. Not only did it keep him out of the end zone, but it forced him to use up a bunch of time. We're inside 3 minutes to go in the third quarter before the Rams were ever able to get on the board.
They'll toss it this time. Maddox him down, a loss. Back to the 8-yard line. Teaming up that time looked to be Travis Matthews, number 7, and I think Edward Jones over there as well. So a loss of about 4.
Well, looks like Maddox, Randy, is playing on heart right now. He doesn't look physically like the same player we saw in the first half. Don't know, what the situation is there. We were told that he went to the locker room sick on his stomach in the first half, but he doesn't look like the same guy we saw earlier.
Well, it takes a lot out of you, though, with the body fluids and everything. 2nd and 4. They'll set him up as a slot back, or we have a stoppage of play here by the officials. Somebody lost partial plate, I believe, on the field. One of the sideline guys.
That's cold.
Well, if you leave it on the ground long enough, it will be that.
Oh, Randy.
2nd and 14 at the 9. Johnson stopped for no gain. The Rams sensing a little momentum. Northeast Guilford popped up and says, "Let's hear it, fans. You've been sitting on your hands all night."
Well, their fans have been up. Even when they were down 27-0, their fans were up and hollering for them to get back in this game. But Kannapolis has just built a tremendous lead here, and it's going to take a Herculean effort for the Rams to get back in this game now. Still down 20 points, 21 points.
Well, they need 3 scores regardless of how you figure it up. Touchdowns, conversions. Here's Kraft on 3rd down and 14, looking deep, single coverage, now double coverage on Jenkins up at about the 40-yard line. That's just a straight fly, and if it was there, they got it big, they got the ball and moved the sticks, but they'll bring Jenkins on. He'll have to run all the way back now and punt.
McNeil a little slow to get up after that play, Randy. He was in on the coverage, and it took him a long time to get up off the ground as well. And what about William Kraft, Randy? He threw that thing almost 50 yards in the air. He was back on his goal line almost when he let that one go.
Jenkins, there you see McNeil. He's back at about the 40 on an average punt. They should get great field position again. Jenkins about 4 yards deep in the end zone. Good snap. Pressure from the ends. Jenkins boots off a good one. At the 38-yard line, McNeil wrestled out of bounds by Paul Allen across the far way. And they'll set up shop at the 33-yard line of the Wonders.
Well, field position in the second half has been going the way of Northeast Guilford. Unfortunately for them, they've only been able to put 1 in the end zone.
If they can get a quick one here, it's back to 2 touchdowns or less. And that's not insurmountable.
Then you definitely have a momentum swing their way.
You got a ball game. It's a key possession here. Exactly 1 minute to go in the 3rd period. Out of the wishbone, or the flex bone, as the purists call it. Here's Dixon coming down the line and stopped by Mark Kennedy. The quarterback has to make a decision. The defensive guys have to make a decision. That time, advantage Wonders.
One of the Wonders is hurt, a little slow to get up. Looks like Tremaine Robinson. The trainers are out to him now, and he's walking off the field. But, boy, he was in some pain there for a few moments.
And they'll get him off the field. And
Maddox is coming on to play defensive back now.
And he'll most likely be covering Rika Miller, who is split to the top of your screen, out of your picture right now. 1 wide to the bottom. 2nd and 11 from the 34 of the Wonders. Dixon cranks it up, goes deep, incomplete. May not have had a touchdown, but they had it inside the 5-yard line, intended for Vince Harris.
And it was just beyond his reach. Rayvar Harris is on the coverage. Nice execution here, just a little bit long. He had 2 steps on Rayvar Harris that time and could easily have scored, Randy.
Well, maybe Coach Bursley says we can't get it done running. Let's see if we can attack him with the air.
Well, they've been successful, and that one was just inches away from a touchdown.
3rd down and 11, though. Fans on their feet. Boy, there's some noise here at Keenan tonight. They give to McNeil, trying to get around the corner, shakes a tackle, goes inside the 130 to the 28. Willie Poor, along with Philip Johnson, finishing him off there. It'll be 4th down and long coming up.
Well, the whole flow of that play going toward the top of your picture or the left side, and then you had McNeil almost by himself coming down to the bottom, and pretty successful play, but it's going to bring up another must 4th down, and we'll get it in the 4th quarter.
27-6, the A.L. Brown Wonders of Kannapolis. 12 more minutes to decide the state championship. You've joined us for the state championship 3A game. This a key in the momentum shift here. 4th and 5 as we start the 4th quarter from the 28-yard line of the Wonders. Dixon looking to the air, dumps it out there, tipped, incomplete. It'll be Wonder football as they'll get it on downs, and it looked like Rayvar Harris, who got burnt when he fell down on the touchdown pass, Woody, but redeemed himself there.
Well, the receiver had his hands on the ball, bobbled it, it was in the air, and as he was trying to make his second attempt, Rayvar ran up and jolted him in the back to make sure there was not going to be a heroic effort to get a 1st down on that one.
Kannapolis, they'll have decent field position. Their own 28-yard line to start it with 1 setback. For William Kraft.
The Wonders minus 7 yards offensively in the second half, Randy.
A tale of 2 halves. Play fake, Kraft rolling, dumps it upfield, and about a 2-yard completion. Making the catch was Mark Kennedy. And he was double covered, so.
Well, I think that's the first pass I've seen Kennedy catch.
Yeah, we've seen him run the ball in the backfield some, but
yeah.
He'll get in that stat for the year. So the senior linebacker playing a little offense here. And that might have been a play, Woody, there just to set up something else.
Yeah, well, they haven't really been passing much on 1st down all season long. They tried it there to see if they could throw the Rams off balance a little bit.
Jenkins and Gill are split to the top, and you've got Sheets to the bottom. And the toss will go to Maddox. Looking to pass it, throwing upfield, tipped, incomplete, a flag is down, and that might be in the vicinity of a holding variety.
Could very well be.
Nick looked a little indecisive there. Good secondary coverage by Northeast Guilford, by the way.
I think he thought that one of the linemen for Northeast was going to get away. It's a clip, the call on the Wonders. I think Nick thought that one of the Ram defensive linemen or linebackers was about to get away and get close to him, so he had to kind of find another spot to set his feet.
Coach Bursley's probably saying, oh my Lord, does he throw the ball too?
He does everything.
Climb will be 3rd down.
Obviously a good decision there by Northeast Guilford. Time is of the essence for them right now if they hope to get back into this game and give them a finish, because they want the football.
Well, here's the spot where you keep your eye on Jenkins and Sheets.
Well, we'll see Jenkins go split. There he is, 42 to the top. Sheets will line up as the tight end on the right side, kind of offsets there. And they'll offset the backfield. Now they'll send as a wing or a slot formation Maddox. Here's Kraft, nobody in the backfield. He'll have to eat the football because the pressure was coming in a hurry.
I think he slipped, Randy, when he tried to plant his foot to throw off of that time. Looked like it kind of came out from under him, and he didn't try to do anything crazy, just went with the flow and 8-1 for the team, so to speak.
What win there is, and it's negligible once you get down and count on the valley here at Keenan Stadium, will be at the back of Danny Jenkins on this punt.
No 1st downs in the second half for Kannapolis.
10 guys, once again, waiting to come for Northeast Guilford. Jenkins with a gorgeous kick. McNeil driven back to the 40. East side sidestepping, looking for some room, and the Wonders coverage will contain him back at the 37-yard line. Tony McKinney, number 21, was down there.
I think I saw Philip Lee in on that one as well.
The clock shows 10:19 remaining.
There's Coach Persley giving the instructions to Dixon as he goes out. And Randy, if Northeast Guilford has any hopes of getting back in this game, they need points out of this drive. If they don't get points out of this drive, too much time will have elapsed, and they're going to have to get into the desperation mode and start slinging the ball all over the place to get back in it.
Out of the wishbone, Dixon with a straight drop. Good protection. This one floats a little bit. Oh, my goodness, what a collision. Looking for McNeil. He's throwing his hands up. Harris had him covered.
Gill was there as well. You also had Kennedy back there. LaRon Caldwell a few steps away. 1 of 8 passing in the game for Dixon and the Rams.
Tell you what, I guess the defensive secondary coaches for Kannapolis told them, whatever you do, if we have to put 4 guys on McNeil, we will. And that's about what they had that time. Brian Dixon, 51% on the year coming into tonight's game. He's not having a subpar performance in the passing department right now. 2nd and 10. Dixon hemmed in.
Oh, look at that!
A short tackle by Nick Gill, but he
picked up some yardage, Randy, but Nick Gill actually reached around the guy who was blocking him to grab a big handful of Dixon's shirt and just rode him down. Watch this. He's fighting through McNeil's block and just grabs him and won't let go.
Say, come here.
Man, that's a fine play.
At the 44-yard line of the Rams, they have it 3rd down and 3. Inside 10 minutes to go with the 4th period. The clock continuing to run, now becoming the ally of the Wonders. Dixon keeps, will have the first down, but pays a dear price. Take your pick. 71 Philip Johnson as they unstack. And Mark Kennedy, one of the seniors as well.
Looks like Miller was in close as well, and man, I'm telling you what, Dixon went down under a pile of players that time.
Got the first down, but will be a black and blue guy come tomorrow. He's got some bumps and bruises on him.
However, he kept the drive alive, and I'll tell you what, we mentioned earlier, he's having a tough night passing, but I really have a lot of admiration for Dixon. First time we've seen him, but that kid's playing his guts out here tonight.
1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line. Dixon going deep, overthrown. Tremaine Robinson, really the closest guy there.
And he thinks he should have intercepted it.
My Lord, Tremaine, your arms are only so long. Vince Harris, the intended receiver.
He's mad at himself for not intercepting that one.
Don't worry, it's going to happen. We got 9:25 to go. You get into that not panic stage, but being forced to pass and taken out of your rhythm, and the Wonders are going to come up with a pick.
In this half, Randy, 99 yards of offense for the Rams, -8 for the Wonders.
Dixon. Oh! Say hello, Nick Gill, Carlos McNeil. Is Nick pumped?
Nick kind of tricked him that time, Randy. Look at that.
There's the Philip Johnson headbutt.
The chest bump.
Yeah,
I think Gill kind of deked Dixon into thinking he was going to go after him. Watch this. He kind of fakes him, and he knew what was going to happen there. He was ready for that from the very beginning.
Perfect technique as you see the thousands of fans who have invaded Kenan Stadium. The Wonder Band starting to fire up maybe perhaps a victory song of some sort as we go inside 9 minutes. 3rd and 12. Dixon, pressure, throwing, overthrown. McNeil covered by Kennedy out of the backfield.
Dixon is down on his back again. Willie Poore got to him just as he let that one go, along with Rashad Robinson. But he, I think, had to get rid of that one, and that's why the ball sailed on him. He had 2 Wonders right in his face.
This is kind of like a reunion up here this weekend. Guess who else I saw on the streets of Franklin Street this afternoon?
Who's that?
Remember Ron Raper, the head coach at West Rowan?
Yeah.
Saw him, Bob Boswell, Mike Lambert. I mean, they're all here. First time here in the second half, a boomer of a punt.
Again.
Nick lets it go. It bounds and goes into the end zone.
That almost stopped.
Woody breathes a sigh of relief.
I'm telling you, I thought that thing was going to hang up and die. We got a flag.
back at the original line of scrimmage. Somebody may have left too soon. We'll get the call from head referee Nelson, or the referee Nelson Keller.
It's going to be a hold against Kannapolis.
Well, that's something you don't need. That'll give them the first down yardage. They needed 12 or 13 yards.
I'm thinking they're going to say
holding on the defense. Going to replay 4th down.
they will replay it. I thought he was going to try to say it was
10 yards.
That's 10
yards, so it will not be enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that had been the 15-yarder, then obviously it would have been enough for the first down.
So Maddox is back deep.
Well, if you're a decision right now, Coach Persley, you got to.
They're going to go.
Yeah, why not? 4th down, there's no tomorrow. 8:28 to go in the 4th quarter. The line to make just inside the under 42-yard line as Brian Dixon back on with the offense.
Boy, the fans are into it, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Dixon coming down the line, has the first down, is upended, but will have the necessary yardage.
Ron Caldwell got it.
LaRon, I believe he's got another brother on this team, Eric Caldwell, plays for the Wonders as well. That's who we were the other night on the headliners, number 2 and number 3.
7th play of the drive for the Rams, and what a key penalty that was, Randy. The hold gives Northeast the opportunity to get the first down, and they take advantage of it.
Well, as you said in the first half, or when that blitz was going on in the first quarter, Coach Persley's team will not quit. They are too good a ball team, and here we go again. Carrying, folks, for another first down inside the under 25-yard line. That is John Patterson.
Well, they are starting to feel something now. They are definitely getting in sync here, Randy. It's a tale of two halves. It's starting to look like the question may be, do the Wonders have a big enough lead to hold them off as Northeast is driving? Kannapolis takes a timeout.
They are going to set some things defensively, perhaps give them time to rest just a little bit. 7 minutes and 53 seconds to go in the ballgame. Kate, as you see Bruce Hart here on the turf at Kenan Stadium, pondering. 1st and 10 at the under 25-yard line. The Rams come back to life here in the second half, and about 3, maybe 4 yards that time off the right side.
Well, some of the numbers, Randy, we're looking at now to tell you what a tale of two halves it is. Kannapolis has 4 3-and-outs here in the second half. They have minus yardage in the second half. They are struggling to get anything done offensively after Nick Maddox absolutely destroyed things in the first half. Their longest drive of the night has been 6 plays, but Maddox was so spectacular early, they didn't have to do anything else.
Yeah. It's not how you're doing it, the fact that they've got it done to this point. McNeil hitting the right side, follows the blocking good. Kennedy and Harris team up to make the tackle at about the 15, maybe the 14-yard line. It'll be a first down.
McNeil's starting to pile up some yards now, Randy.
He and Patterson starting to maybe wear the Wonder defense down a little bit. They have been in the field here in the second half a long time.
Good block downfield that time by number 72 for the Rams, Anthony Hart.
First down and 10. Here's Dixon. Sidesteps one guy, goes forward for about 3 yards near the 10-yard line. Looked like Gill tripped him up and knocked him to the ground.
The big thing, though, Randy, is it's taking a lot of time. Remember, they got the ball here, and it was like, 10 minutes and 20-some seconds to go when they started this drive, and we're coming down close to 6.5 now.
Not a fast team. Can score quickly, but they're just grinding it out. And Robinson and company, after about a 3-yard gain that time, team up and stop Patterson.
Well, they can afford a grinded-out kind of drive on this one. After this, they're going to have to try and get downfield a little more briskly if they're going to make a drive in this game. The 12th play of the drive coming up.
Impressive, to say the least, here for the Rams. We knew the real Northeast Guilford would show up. We just didn't know when. Nearing 6 minutes to go in the game. 3rd and 3 at the 7. They'll have the first down, and they will have a touchdown. Into the end zone off the left side goes Darryl Bryant, the halfback. And now the question, well, there should be no question, they'll probably go for 2.
You almost have to. Look at that. And he just fought his way through. LaRon Caldwell and Kennedy had a hold of him, but he just wouldn't be denied.
Well, the interesting thing here is if you miss it, you're still down 15. You still got to score 2 touchdowns.
Right, so it doesn't really, I mean, you've got to go for it here.
Oh, yeah. There's Dixon lining up for 2, and he'll keep it and be stopped. They missed a handoff, perhaps, and the Wonders defense turns them away on the extra point conversion. 6 minutes and 5 seconds to go in the 4th period. The score a little tighter, 27-12, Kannapolis. We return to Kenan Stadium. We have the good hands people up on the 50-yard line for the Wonders, because you know the onside kick is probably going to be coming here from the Rams. Justin Howell ready to kick it back.
And the Wonders ready for that as well.
Howell coming forward, and he doesn't kick it. He kicks it deep into the end zone. Yes, the Wonders on the touchback. Maddox made the right decision that time not to field it. So they'll have it 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Well, just as Northeast Guilford chewed up a good bit of time, 4 minutes, 15 seconds on their drive, 63 yards, and Bryant, the 7-yard touchdown run, so too do the Wonders need a drive here that will chew up a lot of clock. We mentioned earlier that they have only sustained a 6-play drive as their longest. They need a drive here similar to the ones that helped put Burns away and the ones that helped put Kings Mountain away. A long time-consuming drive.
Toss. Maddox will lose 1 man and will lose a yard. Back to about the 19, maybe 2 yards. Back to the 18.
Another factor to keep in mind is that the Rams have all of their timeouts left. Kannapolis only has 1, but I don't expect they're going to be interested in stopping the clock.
Unless Kannapolis can pick up a first down in this particular drive. Right now they face 2nd and 12 at the 18. At each play, it's 25, 30 seconds off the clock.
Well, I mean, Kannapolis is not going to be interested in stopping the clock. No. It's really not that significant that they've only got 1 timeout left.
I just want to chew up that time. It'd be nice to get a first down here. Toss to Maddox. He's got the good block at the line of scrimmage, and there he goes. Big Maddox. They have the angle on him this time and pump him out of bounds. Nick says, I didn't hear a whistle.
That's right. Keep fighting for it.
Well, they don't get nothing and nothing and nothing and nothing, and then it's Merry Christmas.
Just when it looked like Maddox was out of gas, he responds in tremendous fashion down the sidelines.
McNeil angled him out. I think it was number 7 that was Travis Matthews that got him out. Nick saying, am I out? He wanted to run some more.
I'm telling you what now, Maddox has just had a truly amazing game.
That'll give the Wonders field position, and that might do it. 5:14 to go here in the ball game. Back to Tron Brown to the 28, the senior. What can you say about Tron Brown? Last year, they didn't make the playoffs. They went 6-5, and Tron Brown and Mark Kennedy and some of these other seniors said, we're going to work in the offseason. We're going to start early. We're going to practice without the coaches. And we're going to dedicate ourselves and refocus because, Lord, we didn't have fun last year. Boy, are they having fun now.
It's paying off. Get this, Randy. Another state record is in danger of going down. Maddox has 167 yards rushing by our unofficial count. The state championship record is 180.
Well, it'll be Tron Brown this time off the left side. Stopped for a loss at the 31. It'll bring up 3rd down.
And this is a situation here where you'll start to see the Wonders, if they get close to the sidelines,
stay in bounds.
Right, just go down rather than fight for that extra 2 or 3 yards to keep that clock moving.
Yeah, if you roll out of bounds now, you're going to get shot when you come off the field, so you better stay inside. There's Maddox, perhaps 1 shot as you see the Wonder Band making the trip. It's one of the Luke Graham, the band director. They got their state championship too. As the Wonder fans can sense it right now, it's starting to ease through the cracks. Here's Nick Maddox around the right side, inside the 20, down to to the 17-yard line. That'll be enough for the first down, and that's the important part right now.
And it might be enough, Randy, for a new state championship record.
Well, the rally towels worked.
I guess. Watch this. Maddox just runs by people. Boy, and it sure looked like, didn't it, Randy, a few minutes ago that he was out of gas?
Oh, yeah. That's the old Jim Brown technique.
One more yard, and Maddox will have a new state record. Get this, he's got 179 yards. He's only carried the ball 9 times.
Don't take long when you're running 65 and 78 yards. They give to Nick. Left side, he's got the yard. He's got more. He's inside the 10. He's inside the 5. He's in the end zone. No, they say he's out of bounds at the 2. Darn it.
I think that's what he said, or something like it. But that is a new state record in the state championship game, at least, for Nick Maddox. The old record was 180 yards, and by our unofficial count, Nick Maddox has broken it. And if he can get into the end zone, he will have another record. Watch this.
Give him the football.
Look at Johnson. Evar Johnson, a great block to clear things out.
If you could give a co-MVP, you got to give it to Johnson in the backfield. Blocking award of the century, perhaps. And Nick will be the first guy to admit it. Here's a chance for a couple of records. Or like I said, Woody said, the touchdown record in a state championship game coming up. Maddox hitting the line, second effort, and no signal.
Wow.
NFL, that's a touchdown.
He didn't give up on that one, that's for sure.
What do you feel the electricity in the air? Do you sense it?
Boy, I'm still worn out from that first quarter.
Inside 3 minutes to go. It's been 1989, Bruce Harden's first year at A.L. Brown with Maurice Blakeney and Mike Morton. What a special year that was. A team that had pretty much the same chemistry that this team has got.
Really does.
And the Wonders just now 2.5 minutes away. Here's Maddox. Touchdown.
And that is a new state championship record. The old record for touchdowns in a game was 3. Now it's 4. Maddox has it. The Wonder fans say they're number 1, and they almost assuredly are now.
Well, the celebration is for the folks left back in K-Town. If there's anybody left in Cabarrus County, has already started and will go on for months. 44 touchdowns on the year. He came within just a hair of breaking the state record, and he's only a junior, folks. The kick is up.
And it's good.
That is Todd Graber who makes the extra point, and the Wonders may have sauntered this one away. They lead it 34-12 with 2:29 to go in the 4th period. You folks have the VCRs on because it's fun to witness it live, Woody, the record-breaking performance by individuals and teams and state championship game. The home team wins, but this one will be one they'll cherish for many, many years to come.
There's McNeil up the middle. On the stop that time for the Wonders was Donnell Neal.
And it came in a most unlikely fashion. You didn't expect a 98-yard touchdown pass by with Paul Allen out of the end zone. You didn't expect a 78-yard touchdown run. Not against a caliber team, as we see the scoring drive here.
And Maddox breaks the record with a 1-yard touchdown run. He's got, so far in the game, 197 on the ground and 124 in the air. 321 yards of total offense for Nick Maddox.
Dixon over the middle, dropped. Looking up and around the 40-yard line. Well, if you're Johnson and Miller and Robinson and company, you know what's coming. So you can just salivate, I guess, a defensive lineman's dream here. You're up.
Pin your ears back and go for it right now.
22 points in the final 2:19 of the game.
One of 11 passing in this game for Dixon and the Rams. And that's a huge story there.
2nd and 10. Dixon rolls, now pumps it upfield. Incomplete. Looking for McNeil, broken up by Tremaine Robinson around midfield. Actually, a pretty good pass that time by Dixon, but good coverage by the Wonders.
Well, it hung a little bit on him and gave Robinson time to get into the play.
3rd down. Don't forget, at the conclusion of tonight's game, we will have the post-game ceremony, because I think immediately after the game, Woody, they're going to award the state championship trophy to what appears to be the Al Brown Wonders.
And then they'll have a press conference with the offensive and defensive players of the game. Obviously, Maddox, the offensive player of the game, Randy, but who's your pick for defensive player of the game?
Oh, gosh.
You could select
all 11 of those
many,
guys.
yeah.
Dixon to the air again. This one looked like it was going to be picked incomplete. Tremaine Robinson had the bead set there. Tony McKinney also in on the play.
Well, they're throwing to the wide side of the field. The ball has a long way to travel, and that gives the Wonders secondary a chance to converge on it. And looks like Dixon wants a timeout with 2:06 to go.
We'll be back for the conclusion of the 97 State 3A State Championship football game in just a moment. Last chance here for the Rams in Northeast Guilford. 4th down and 10 at their own 30-yard line. Dixon, boy, the Indians are coming in a hurry. Dixon punches it upfield and dropped. And the Wonder defense did their job.
Philip Johnson is hurt.
Shaken up back at about the 25-yard line. Johnson's slow to get up, and he may just be savoring the moment.
Here he is. He's okay. And the trainers come out again, and Rashad Robinson talked about defensive players of the game, Randy. He's got to be one to get some consideration.
Oh, I would think he would get a few votes because he was in there just literally threw the nose guard or the center out of the way and had, what, a couple of sacks?
Yeah, and you got to give some consideration to Willie Poore as well. Johnson had some big plays. Desmond Miller, a couple of sacks. And Justin Harden in at quarterback now for Kannapolis.
Bruce Harden is right. Defense wins championships.
Yep.
The Wonder fans beginning their celebration here as we go 1:59 in the game. And some new faces are in the backfield. Ryan Kraft, I think 26 is the outback. And Tron Brown tripped up. I don't think Tron cares right now. He's the senior. And what a career. And all these seniors that will move on for A.L. Brown next year to college or a trade or whatever and get on with their lives. Boy, it's been a pleasure watching them over the last couple of years. We hate to see any of these kids graduate. We have so much fun doing it.
Absolutely right, but what memories these kids and these fans will have for the rest of their lives. And Justin Harden will take it down to the last tick on the play clock.
Harden, perhaps your starting quarterback next year. Boy, is he going to love handing off to Johnson and Maddox.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see him get an opportunity to play in a state championship game because, you know, you talked about it earlier, Randy, how many really good programs never get this far?
And they're letting the senior get his time, too. Tron Brown.
Yeah.
The celebration winded down, or winded up, I should say. 50 seconds to go in the game. The Wonders have to run, but probably just one more play, and this one will be salted away, and they'll be in the record books. They'll bring the second state championship back to Kannapolis. So Bruce Harden is now 2 out of 3 in the big game. Here is Maxwell around the left side, and he got out of bounds.
And you know, Randy, Maxwell is a guy with some good speed, some good skills, but with Tron Brown and Nick Maddox and Evar Johnson ahead of him, he just can't find room to play.
It's a tough decision, isn't it?
He'll get a lot more opportunities next year when Tron Brown graduates.
The celebration has started, and we'll just watch the Wonder fans celebrate here. Listen at that crowd, and what a following the Wonders had. It really helps if you're a player, I guess, to have that kind of following behind you here as we tick down the final seconds of this 1997 victory. Again, off the middle.
Ooh, a little bit of a late hit there.
It was 4th and 12, so the clock will stop on the change of possessions.
Kraft up the middle that time, and it looked like he got pounded after he was down that time, but
it's pretty good running back there.
Yeah. And there you see the disappointment coming off the field, but nothing to be ashamed of. The Wonders are number 1, but number 2 at 14-2 ain't too bad.
Not bad. You'll take it every year and take your chances.
12 ticks to go. The Rams' 13-game winning streak will come to an end, but What a fine season. First time the school has ever been this far.
And Coach Persley and these underclassmen might be back here next year. You have to fail in order to succeed sometimes. And they didn't fail, but they just didn't win the ball game. Here's Dixon back to pass, looking over the middle. This one will be picked. He dropped it. Harris had end zone on his mind.
He wanted it. And look at there. They're trying to give him the ball and say, take it anyway. LeRon Caldwell says, get you a souvenir.
Yeah. Maybe you sneak this one out of here.
Yeah.
I believe the balloons are going to be going skyward here in about 5 more seconds.
We'll have to see after the game if we get Steve to go down there and inhale some of that helium for when he goes and talk to Coach Harden.
Well, Coach. His voice will be a little bit deeper than normal, won't it?
Oh, yeah.
Final play of the game. Dixon hands off to McNeil. He's going nowhere as they count it down. The A.L. Brown Wonders of Kannapolis are your 1997 State 3A High School football champions as the team running across the field. They're wanting to meet the fans. Let's just watch and enjoy this right now. Doing the Green Bay Packers, Woody.
Hey, yeah, they didn't stop at the gate. They're climbing up in there to start celebrating with the fans, and that is great. They know that these fans have been behind them all year, Randy. Coach Harden has mentioned it several times how important these fans are to this team, and the fans are being paid back by the players right now.
I think Tremaine Robbins, he's not taking his jersey off down there. He's cheerleading. He don't know it's cold.
Well, he will in a minute.
Look at that.
There's Kraft up there. There's Maxwell.
Here comes some of the other guys, the underclassmen. They said, the seniors saying, what these guys? There's Nick Gill. Boy, what a game he had.
There you go.
Boy, they've already got the T-shirts printed. What is going on here?
That's the power of positive thinking.
I guess so. The trophies are about to be awarded. We'll be back for that presentation in just a moment. Let's go field side. Here's the trophy presentation. And Woody, that's a long, hard-earned award right there.
It really is, and there you see what they played for, Randy. Something you mentioned earlier, the dedication they put in the off-season, coming back. The dedication after a struggling season, it's paid off now in spades.
And you saw the seniors. There's Mark Kennedy and Willie Poore and company holding that up. Bruce Harden will get the, I guess maybe the rings or the cards or something. I don't know. It's a lot of hardware. The winner gets all the spoils, and the Wonders obviously deserving of that this season.
I think that's a new set of Nick Maddox trading cards.
I tell you, the value is going up.
And there is no doubt, folks, your MVP. What a spectacular game that kid had. Boy, he broke 4 state records. 197 yards rushing, a new state record. 124 yards receiving, 321 total yards.
Here comes the award announcement, Woody. Okay,
he had Rashad Robinson gets the defensive award. That's who we talked about. There's Philip Johnson, and you saw Nick Gill. Here comes Rashad Robinson. What a big game he had. You know, kind of the unsung hero. Guys like Miller and Johnson get all the headlines defensively, but he had just a solid game.
Is there any doubt who's going to get the offensive MVP award?
No, there he is. Listen to the crowd. And he deserves it.
And he will tear that trophy up, or that plaque, into about 45 pieces and give it to every one of those guys on that team, because he's that type of guy.
That's the kind of kid he is. You know the interesting thing? At the press conference, first thing Bruce Harden said about him, he's a National Honor Society student.
And a great guy. From a great family. Congratulations. We'll have more from Kenan Stadium in just a moment. As we return to the University of North Carolina Kenan Stadium, the Wonders, winners of the 1997 State 3A High School Football Championship. And earlier, just a few minutes ago, Steve Gant caught up with winning head coach Bruce Harden.
Thanks, Woody and Randy. We caught up with Bruce Hart and tell you what, Bruce, that was a great ball game. Congratulations, 1997 state champions.
Thank you. I'm so proud of this football team and just to be a part of them. And they're so proud of the way the fans come and support them. It's just a joyous moment. It's almost like Christmas today, you know. And we've just had so much fun, and our players have done the things we asked to get better, and they've done the things we've asked in the off season. So this is about as gratifying as it comes.
Bruce, I know we've talked to you hundreds of times this year. Nick Maddox always comes up. What a performance from Nick Maddox in the first quarter. Look up at the clock about 7 minutes ago, and you guys up 21-0.
My classic statement in coaching is, you know, we may not win the game, but if you got Nick on your ball club, you always have a chance. And I think he proved to the state of North Carolina and whoever was here that he's a great ball player. And to add to that, he's just as fine a human being as they come also.
Got to mention four state records also out there. So congratulations on a great year. Just, I think, 3 yards shy of 300 yards for the night's total. Great performance.
Well, you know, you can do a lot of strategy, you can do a lot of planning, but it's still a player's game, and you put that ball in their hands, and you ask them to do the blocking and tackling, and that's what's fun about being a coach.
I tell you, it's been a great year, fun year. This makes the trip back down to K-Town about 3 hours long, a little bit shorter.
I think it'll be a really wonderful feeling all the way home.
Let's talk to the man of the hour right quick. Nick Maddox, congratulations, great job.
Thank you. You know, I think it was a team effort tonight. Can't one man beat a whole team. You know, a lot of people say that, but it's really not true. They came out, Northeast Guilford came out and played a heck of a game. But I just think my teammates and I came out and we wanted it more.
Nick, you disappeared out there for a while. We was looking for you, got the binoculars, we looked on the sideline, couldn't find you, and somebody said you're in the locker room. Well, was real worried. How you feeling?
I feel great now. I got a little sick at halftime, before halftime, because I've been running so much and I ain't getting anything in my stomach today. I was a little nervous. So I feel great now, but I was just a little sick.
Congratulations, great performance out there, and looking forward to that senior year.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Nick. Bruce, I tell you, was up there talking to your wife, Brenda. Boy, she was on edge all night.
I tell you what, she really supports this team, and I don't know how the wives are, but when I come home, she's got 100 questions about these guys every night. So she enjoys it, and she's just so supportive of everything we do.
Let's go celebrate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, Randy, back to you and Woody.
Okay, thanks, Steve, and congratulations to Bruce and the Yale Brown Wonders. Let's take a look at some final numbers for you.
Well, here you see 206 yards of the ground for Kannapolis, 154 through the air, only 39 for the Rams. Look at there, 1 of 14 passing. That's a big story, but kind of interesting. Look at the first downs, 4 for Kannapolis and 10 for the Rams, and that's because Kannapolis scored so quickly in the first half that they didn't have any long drives that they consumed a lot of time. 2 turnovers for the Rams. Those were big penalties. Not really much to speak of there for either team. The penalty yardage not significant at all of a factor, but boy, we do have some numbers for you on Nick Maddox, and what a fine performance he had. 197 yards rushing. That's a new state championship record. 124 yards receiving. That is not a record, but it's impressive. 321 total yards of the 360-some Kannapolis had. 4 touchdowns in the game. That's a new state record in the championship. Nick Maddox also had the longest pass reception in state championship history, 98 yards, and the longest run from scrimmage in state championship history, 78 yards. So 4 state championship records for the junior Nick Maddox.
Nick Maddox talks about teamwork. We want to thank the guys, the camera guys, and what a great job they did this year. Hats off to those guys. You'll see the names as we roll the credits. And Woody, I've enjoyed it, partner. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and all our guys. They make it happen.
Thanks a lot, guys.